In today's video, we will be taking a look at another hypothetical 2024 presidential election prediction between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Now, both of these candidates are pretty much the presumptive GOP nominees at this moment in time. Joe Biden, the current president of the United States, has just announced a couple of hours ago that he will seek a re-election bid in 2024 despite his age, and Trump is definitely polling well ahead of his Republican counterparts in the 2024 GOP primary nomination, and I think he'll probably be the GOP nominee as well. So it's going to be Joe Biden versus Donald Trump, as it was in 2020. So, in this most likely matchup, who would end up winning? Today's video, we're gonna find out. Now, first off, in the likely states for Donald Trump, because he's currently behind in electoral vote count. Alaska, this is obvious, and South Carolina, these are both states that are gonna vote for Trump by about 12 points or so. Not necessarily a safe margin, but these are pretty solidly in the GOP column. Iowa, Ohio, these are states that voted for Trump by 8 points in 2016 and 2020. These states are likely going to still be in the likely GOP column by around 10 points for Trump against Biden. These are heavily trending red states, and I think there will be likely margins for the Republicans, if not safe margins, in the near future. And we can talk about safe Ohio, safe Iowa for the Republicans in around 10 years' time. Now, as well as that, Texas here, this is a trending blue state, especially in much of the Fort Worth, Houston, suburban areas, but at the end of the day, Republicans are going to hold the state for at least another 5 or 6 years until it gradually becomes more competitive and Democrats actually have a shot at winning the state in maybe 2028 or 2032. I think as well as that, the state of Florida, this is a trending red state, and I think for that reason, definitely I think Trump is going to win. DeSantis, his likely most prominent GOP primary opponent, is from the state of Florida, and he beat his Democratic challenger in the Florida gubernatorial election by 17 points, a very, very impressive margin for Ron DeSantis and the Republican Party in general. Now let's go to the Joe Biden likely states. We have a couple of them, though they won't deliver as many electoral votes as for Donald Trump. Now, I think first of all, Colorado, this is a state that voted for Biden by 13.5. Definitely gonna vote for Joe Biden yet again. New Mexico as well voted for Biden by 11. I think he'll win by a similar margin in 2024. Now, Virginia as well, I think this will be a likely blue state. I don't think that is that surprising. I think Biden, realistically speaking, is still going to win these three states by around 10 to 13 points respectively. Now, as well as that, the state of Maine, I think this will be around a 7-point margin like it was in 2020. I think this will be a slightly narrow margin for Joe Biden, but I think this will be a far larger margin than the Hillary Clinton margin in 2016, where she only won the state by 3 points overall. And that concludes it for the likely states for both parties. We can see a pretty similar amount of electoral votes for Joe Biden, 211, versus Donald Trump with 218. Now, these are the remaining states, and these states will decide the presidential election. These are considered the toss-up races, or the most competitive states. Now, first off, let's start with the state of Nevada. Now, Nevada, I think it's a state that's really close. Potentially speaking, I see that Joe Biden could end up winning the state. Now, the reason being that he did win it in 2020, so I think he still has the upper edge there in 2024. Now, previously I said Trump may be favored, that I think Biden is slightly favored in the state of Nevada, given that really, although Clark County has been trending Republican a little bit, I don't think it will be enough for Trump to necessarily flip the state. Now for the state of Arizona. Now Arizona is also very interesting. I think Trump has the narrow edge in this state. It is trending blue, but I think, just overall speaking, I think it's not trending blue fast enough for Biden to actually win it in 2024. Because all the McCain phenomenon and really Trump going heavily against John McCain, that really hurt him in the state of Arizona in 2020. I don't think that would be the largest issue in 2024 for voters in the state of Arizona. Now for the state of Georgia, I think this will be a state that goes for Joe Biden. The reason being that really the state is trending blue. The Atlanta area is trending blue pretty much by the second, and at this point in time, Georgia is a state that's really irreversibly going to be a very much blue-leaning state, if not a blue state, in around 10 to 20 years' time. Now, North Carolina, I think Trump is definitely going to carry that state, which means that Trump has officially carried all the states and districts that he carried in 2020. The reason is pretty obvious. North Carolina, I don't think this is going to flip blue because I don't see any indications that show that Trump is actually going to lose the state, because there's still a lot of rural voters that are trending towards the GOP in a state like North Carolina. Some of the black rural areas trending to the Republicans by a pretty substantial margin. And I think Minnesota is going to be lean here for Joe Biden. I don't think that's very surprising to most people. Again, this is a state that voted for Biden by 7, and as well as that, New Hampshire also voted for Biden by 7, and these two states are going to vote for Joe Biden by around 3.4 to 4 points in this current prediction. I think the margins will tighten slightly because I think Biden's suburban appeal wouldn't be as great, but I think he definitely does win both of these states. Now the election comes down to Rust Belt again, as it will do in pretty much the next 2 or 3 presidential elections, as well as it would in 2016 and 2020. Now I'm just going to clear this out of the way. Nebraska 2nd, I think, will be lead for Biden. The district is slightly redder now, according to FiveThirtyEight. It is 3 points redder, but I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. This is a district that is pretty anti-Trump, at least if you look at how it voted in the past couple of presidential elections. While Trump, however, can do very well in Maine's 2nd district, I'm going to put this as likely. He won the district by a very solid 7 points in 2020 and an extremely good 9 points in 2016. While Obama carried the district twice, and Democrats pretty much have never lost the district since the district was drawn, since Maine had 2 congressional districts voting in the presidential election. Now I think for Wisconsin here, I think Trump still has the narrow advantage. I think the fact that really Trump only lost the state by 10,000 votes is something that's really telling. I think at the end of the day, Trump is narrowly favored because of all the rural areas that are trending red. Now, the Rust Belt in general is trending red, but Wisconsin in particular trending red the most significant out of the 3 Rust Belt states. And really, in general, Wisconsin is considered the reddest of the 3, even at this moment in time, and I think Trump still has a narrow edge. I think Michigan, however, with the Grand Rapids area, some of the Oakland County area actually trending blue in some of the suburban areas, I think that would be enough to give Joe Biden the victory in the state of Michigan. Now, I think Republicans are going to continue improving rural areas, but I don't think it would be enough for the 2024 elections. And finally, for the state of Pennsylvania. And I think Pennsylvania, again, this would decide the presidential election outcome. I think Trump and Biden both have a shot here. For the Democrats' argument, Democrats have won both Senate seats, the governor's seat by very substantial margins. John Fetterman defeated Mehmet Oz by a decent margin, and it just seems like Democrats have been winning many statewide races in the state, and Republicans have not. Republicans do have an argument to be made, though, that Trump is a very strong Rust Belt candidate and barely lost the state in 2020. Ultimately, though, I think Democrats are going to prevail here because just in general, I don't think Trump is necessarily the best candidate for the 2024 election for Republicans. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.